The dense fog of war in Gaza thickened into tragedy on October 17, 2025, as an Israeli airstrike meant to pulverize a suspected Hamas tunnel network instead obliterated a squad of IDF soldiers holed up in a ruined schoolhouse in Khan Yunis, killing 8 and wounding 15 in what military officials are now calling the deadliest friendly fire disaster of the conflict. The Blunder, unfolding amid the rubble-strewn streets of southern Gaza just hours after a fragile U.S. brokered truce extension teetered on collapse, exposed the harrowing perils of urban combat in a theater where friend and foe blur into indistinguishable shadows. Eyewitness accounts from surviving troops, smuggled out via encrypted channels to Haaretz reporters by midday, painted a gut-wrenching scene. The pre-dawn strike at 4:15 a.m., a 2,000-pound GBU-31 dam bomb screaming earthward under the guidance of a faulty drone feed, slamming into the Al-Quds school where the Golani Brigade's Alpha Company had taken shelter after a grueling night patrol. The explosion, captured in fragmented helmet cam footage that leaked on X by 6 a.m., showed the building's facade crumpling like wet cardboard, a fireball erupting 30 meters high and sending shockwaves that buried soldiers under tons of concrete and twisted rebar. "We called it in as Clara thought it was empty but the drone lied," gasped one survivor, Sergeant Avi Levy, his voice muffled by dust as he clawed free from the debris, his arm mangled and bloodied. For Israel, a nation scarred by over 2 years of relentless attrition in Gaza, now tallying 431 soldier deaths since the October 2023 invasion. This wasn't just a misfire, it was a shocking indictment of the war's machinery, where high-tech precision collides with the chaos of fog-shrouded battlefields, turning liberators into unwitting executioners. The strike's unraveling began in the suffocating hours of a moonless night, as Alpha Company's 32-man unit, exhausted from sweeping booby-trap tallies for Hamas holdouts, huddled in the school's gutted classrooms, their NVGs casting eerie green glows over maps scrawled with tunnel grids. Intelligence from a Hermes 900 drone overhead, feeding live to IDF command in Tel Aviv, flagged a high-value target 200 meters east, a suspected command post beneath a collapsed mosque, where thermal signatures suggested 10-15 militants rigging IDs. With ground fog blanketing the zone at 80% visibility and Hamas spotters known to mimic IDF chatter via hacked radios, the call came down at 4 a.m., approve the airstrike, coordinates 31.35 degrees N, 34.28 degrees Z. The bomb, dropped from an F-15I round circling 10 kilometers out, was laser-guided, or so the feed claimed. But a post-strike probe, initiated by Chief of Staff Lieutenant Gen. Herzi Halevi by 8 a.m., revealed the catastrophe, a glitch in the drone's EO/RPOD, exacerbated by electronic warfare jamming from a nearby Hamas RPV, had shifted the target overlay by 180 meters, superimposing the school's grid square onto the team's position. The JDAM detonated on impact, vaporizing the front wing in a 1,500 degrees C inferno that fused rifles to uniforms and hurled concrete slabs like shrapnel grenades, collapsing the roof on the huddled troops. Helmet cam snippets, timestamped 4:16 a.m., captured the prelude, soldiers joking over stale rations about one more sweep till breakfast, then the incoming whistly too late to scrambly followed by a white flash that swallowed the frame. Screams cutting to silence amid the roar of settling dust. As dawn clawed through the smoke over Khan Yunis, the human toll etched itself in indelible grief. By 9 a.m., the IDF confirmed 8 dead. Captain Noam Goldstein, 28, the unit's commander whose final order hold position, airs inbound and now haunted his widow's eulogy. Lieutenant Atan Mizrahi, 24, a Tel Aviv reservist fresh from tech startup leave, and 6 sergeants, their name as Ronan Katz, Laura Ben-Ari, Yael Friedman, the squad's only female soldier, and 3 others flashed across national broadcasts amid portraits of smiling faces in IDF fatigues. The 15 wounded fared little better, 9 in critical condition at Soroka Medical Center in Beersheba, their bodies riddled with shrapnel that surgeons picked out like macabre shrapnel grapes, while 6 suffered crush injuries and smoke inhalation that turned lungs to charcoal. Families converged on the base in waves, their sobs echoing in the sterile halls as rabbis recited Kaddish over hasty caskets, while in Gaza, Hamas spokesman crowed on Al-Quds TV about Zionist self-slaughter, claiming the strike had also killed 2 of their own in the crossfire, a claim unverified but weaponized to stoke global outrage. The blunders ripple hit hard, reservists' morale, already frayed amid 2,668 injuries since 2023, plummeted with whispers of friendly ghosts in the ranks, while protests flickered in Tel Aviv's Habama Square by noon. And no more fog, no more lies. Dispersed by police as Netanyahu's office scrambled for spin. Footage from the rubble, pieced from survivor cams and drone overwatch leaked via anonymous IDF channels, offered a raw autopsy of the disaster. Grainy clips showed the Hermes drone's feed glitching seconds before release, thermal blobs merging soldiers with phantom militants in a pixelated haze, the overlay drifting like a drunkard's aim before the bomb detached with a digital ping. Ground-level aftermath reels, shared 2 million times on X by 11 a.m., depicted rescuers, IDF sappers and Gaza medics under brief truce flags clawing through the school's husk, unearthing limbs entwined in rebar and rifles melted into grotesque sculptures, the air thick with the copper taint of blood in cordite. One haunting frame froze a soldier's hand clutching a dog tag amid the dust, while Hamas released counter-propaganda blurry cell footage from the rooftop 300 meters away and showed the Jnam's descent as a mercy kill from the sky, the blast wave buckling distant walls and scattering civilians like leaves. The IDF's initial probe, led by Major Gen. Tamir Yadai, pinned it on coordinated foga, a lethal brew of jamming, poor visibility, and over-reliance on drone intel in a war where Hamas's $100 jammers now spoof $10 million feeds. "We fight blind in Babylon," one anonymous officer messaged to Plus 972 magazine. His words a damning echo of the 29 friendly fire deaths tallied since October 2023, nearly 7% of total IDF losses in Gaza. This shocking blunder wasn't an aberration but the festering symptom of a Gaza war metastasizing into madness, where Israel's precision doctrine honed on F-35 strikes and targeting collides with the labyrinthine hell of urban guerrilla theater. Since the ground invasion on October 27, 2023, friendly fire has claimed 29 soldiers amid 431 total deaths, from tank shells mistaking silhouettes in Jabalia on May 16, 2024, 5 killed in a schoolhouse eerily similar to today's, to the November 2023 APC ambush that vaporized 9 in a rigged blast misidentified as Hamas.70161C152A5F. The conflict's toll over 48,000 Palestinian deaths per Gaza Health Ministry figures, with Lancet estimates pushing 93,000 by May 2025, including indirect famine and disease. Has turned the strip into a fog-choked morass where drones misread shadows and artillery arcs claim kin as casually as foes. Dead 80 add today's strike, amid the March 2025 offensive that killed 591 mostly civilians in Rafah tent camps, amplified the absurdity. A war machine calibrated for 40,000 targets bombed since 2023 now devours its own, with reservists like those in Alpha Company pulled from day jobs amid endless rotations questioning the calculus of total victory as Netanyahu's coalition fractures over Gaza governance. D22C14 economists in Jerusalem peg the indirect bleed at $5 billion quarterly. From morale-crushing inquiries to halted ops as units pull back for defogging drills, while Hamas exploits the chaos with tunnels that snake 500 kilometers beneath the Blitz. Israelis, a people etched with the scars of survival, confronted the blunder with a toxic brew of rage and reckoning. Social media erupted by 10 a.m., state-aligned bots decried Hamas hacks as the culprit, while bereaved families on net forums lambasted Netanyahu's fog factory. One widow's post to "My husband's blood on your screen" so racking 1.5 million shares before deletion. 8D240C in Khan Yunis's shattered streets, Gaza medics under fire from both sides treated the wounded in a macabre truce, their stretchers ferrying IDF troops alongside Palestinian casualties from the same blast. A tableau of shared absurdity amid the war's 80,000 traumatic injuries tallied by the Lancet. BB 1640. The Knesset erupted into chaos by afternoon, opposition leader Yair Lapid demanding Halevi's resignation. "We bomb our boys while Hamas laughs," while Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, in a terse briefing, vowed systemic purge of drone protocols, his face ashen amid whispers of 15,000 total casualties by March 2025. Performer Chief Moshe Alon. C82916. Internationally, the U.S. pledged $200 million in enhanced EO/RUP upgrades, Blinken phoning Netanyahu for transparency amid tragedy, while Hamas's Al-Qassam brigades touted it as Zionist implosion, their rockets arcing over the border in opportunistic volleys that Iron Dome swatted like flies. Yet amid the dust and dirge, flickers of fortitude endured. Rescue teams from Zaka, their yellow vests caked in Gaza grit, sifted the school's husk till dusk, unearthing IDs and talismans clutched in rigor mortis, while chaplains consoled families in Jerusalem synagogues, their prayers weaving defiance. From the ashes, we rebuild our vigilance. In Tel Aviv's tech hubs, engineers at Raphael Labs burned midnight oil prototyping fog-proof eye overlays, while reservists in makeshift memorials lit Yarzit candles for the fallen, their chants at Am Yisrael Chaya, a bulwark against the unraveling. For Gaza's civilians, the blunder was bitter irony, an airstrike that claimed no militants but echoed the 30,000 plus Palestinian dead, their homes bombed under the same flawed feeds. A war where precision's promise dissolves and the rebels embrace. CAD 9. By evening on October 17, as the sun dipped over a Gaza skyline scarred by 40,000 strikes, the nation exhaled a collective shudder. Helicopters winched the last wounded to helipads, streets in Khan Yunis falling silent under curfew's pall, while cafes in Sderot reopened to stun patrons nursing Eric laced with loss. Scars lingered. A child's crayon sketch of a drone with crossed eyes taped to a checkpoint, wilting lilies at the school's husk. The blunder hadn't toppled the resolve, but it scorched the illusion of flawless force, humanizing the war's toll in blood of brothers. Global aftershocks quaked. Oil nudged 3% higher on escalation fears, Beijing's state media musing on internal fractures, while the EU funneled a negation $150 million in aid to Gaza's ghosts. Cleanup crews sifted shrapnel, unearthing drone shards etched with Hebrew code glitches mocking the machinery, while Barn UN teams pieced textile feeds into indictments. In Tel Aviv's war rooms, tacticians redrew overlays, doctrine dented by digital deceit in Hamas tunnels, operatives toasted the self-inflicted wound, plotting shadows amid the fog. The disaster's embers glowed, truth as old as fratricide. In war's blind ballet, no strike spares the striker, and the shocking blunder, once buried in probes, rises to haunt the horizon. The fallout deepened into October 18, with IDF pauses in Khan Yunis for fog audits, radios crackling with uneasy drills, whispers of reprisal. Hamida homicide netting 2 in retaliation, unclaimed but unyielding, while Netanyahu's envoys huddled in Ramallah, dossiers heavy with misfire culpas. For Israelis, from Negev sentries to Haifa healers, it was elegy, fallen not to foes but fog, a ledger balanced in friendly ghosts. Cafes buzzed with bleak banter, global lanes braced for blasts. As drones hummed the horizon, the riddle rang, how many blunders till the war's blind eye blinks shut, hauling all to havoc's unlit maw.